When we think about the term apologetics, it's easy for us to think about professionals like William Lane Craig or Frank Turek. But the truth is, it is a job for all of us, and here's why. Hello and welcome to this episode brought to you by the Teenage Apologist. Today we will be looking at why apologetics is important for you and why we all need to be prepared to form a cogent defense of the Christian view. I think there are two main ways of how apologetics can benefit you. The first one is personal growth, and the second one is evangelism. When we talk about personal growth, I think that it covers three main points. First, it helps you think more about the faith. Secondly, it helps build your confidence. Well, this is of course when you're successfully defending your faith. And the third is it strengthens your walk with Christ. So when we talk about how it helps you think more about your faith, I think I could tell you from a personal anecdote. When I was a younger kid, I was brought up in a Christian family. I went to church every Sunday, I read the Bible a bit, I prayed before breakfast, lunch and dinner, and that was basically it. Now that might seem already pretty good for you, but I never really thought about theological matters. I never really thought about why Christianity is what you should believe in or how one can defend the faith. And I grew up in a local school which had Christian roots, so I never really had to think about these issues. But when I grew up and I now am in an international school, I meet a lot of people who aren't Christian, and they have interesting and really insightful criticisms against Christianity, and it caught me by surprise. I thought, wow, I've never thought of this before. I need to form a defense for what I believe in, or I must drop my belief because it just isn't supported by evidence. So I did some research, I read up and watched debates from famous apologists, and I've started to realize how much evidence there is for the existence of God and why Christianity is the correct thing to believe in. And when you think about it from this aspect, I really think that it helps you dig deeper into your beliefs and dig deeper into why you are a Christian. This leads us to our next point. It helps build your confidence. It helps build your understanding and your faith. Faith, it's always misused in society today. When we hear faith, we think of blind faith. But the truth is, it's not blind faith we're talking about. We're talking about faith based on evidence. But it depends on how strong the evidence is to how strong your faith is. So when you successfully defend your faith and defend Christianity, your confidence in your belief in Christianity grows as well. That leads on to our final point. It strengthens your walk with Christ. We all want to have a growing relationship with Jesus, and that's the main goal of Christianity. So I think that from the perspective of personal growth, apologetics is very beneficial. Another benefit of apologetics is evangelism. There's three main ways how apologetics can branch into evangelizing others. First, people around you get to know more about Christianity. Secondly, it clears up a lot of misconceptions that other people may have. And thirdly, it may convince them that Christianity is a rational belief. So, a lot of people don't think about religion. So a lot of people just aren't exposed to Christianity. Especially in a more secular society in Hong Kong, not many of people are brought up in a Christian family. They are mostly Buddhists or just atheists in general. So they don't really think about these questions. But when you go out with such a provocative, such a big claim that God exists and God sent his son to die for us on a cross, it gains a lot of attention. And people would start thinking, why would someone believe that? Why would someone believe in an all-powerful God creating all of us? And it gives you a platform, it gives you an opportunity to share these beliefs with others and share it to people who would never have thought of it before. And from that perspective, it really helps evangelism. Secondly, since we live in a growingly secular society with a lot of contrasting movements like the liberal movement, some of the new atheism movement, a lot of people have these misconceptions of Christianity. A lot of people misunderstand key aspects of Christianity, and these misconceptions may lead them away from believing in God. However, evangelism helps other people clear these misconceptions. So that's the second benefit of apologetics. Finally, it may convince them that Christianity is a rational belief. A lot of the times, the mainstream community would think that Christianity and religion in general is irrational, and therefore would not think about being a Christian just because they don't want to be ridiculed by others. But the truth is, Christianity is perhaps one of the most rational beliefs or worldviews in the world today. And that's why we need to be able to provide a strong defense and a strong reason of why we believe in Christianity to help other people start thinking that Christianity is a rational belief and may lead them to come to Christ. The third thing we're going to cover in this video is why we need to be prepared to form a reasonable defense for our faith. It is easy to say that this is a job only for the famous apologists like William Lane Craig and others, but the truth is it is a job for all of us. When we live in a growing secular society like we do right now, it is important that we are all prepared to form a reasonable defense for our Christian faith. The atheists around us have increased access to different criticisms and different arguments against Christianity, and we as Christians need to be prepared to form a defense. These days, it's very easy to find a criticism of Christianity or religion as a whole. You could go to the New Atheist movement with Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, or you could just go on YouTube and just search any video about theism, and there's always going to be some interesting criticism against Christianity. That's why we need to be able to defend our faith against these criticisms. The third point is that social media and the news leads to more scrutiny. Whenever something bad happens in the news or around the world, it's easy for people to ask why. People might go, why would God allow this to happen? And it's important for us to be able to deal with this scrutiny and answer these questions as well. Finally, fake news and misinformation is everywhere. Most of the arguments against Christianity are aimed at straw men and are not strong arguments against Christianity. But it's easy for them to seem convincing if we are unable to defend or rebut them. That's why we need to be able to be prepared to respond to all the different types of criticisms that are out there. To conclude, I would like to say that apologetics is our calling. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15, it is written, "But in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this in gentleness and respect." I hope that this is a good introduction to why one should get into apologetics, and if you like this video or similar content, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.